Hi everyone, Bill Collins from Magix here. Today I'm in the studio at OneSource Video talking about Vegas Pro. Vegas Pro has long been known as an editor with an easy-to-use, intuitive workflow. And with version 16, we've added many features requested by our users. Our users range from professional filmmakers shooting features and commercials to popular YouTubers and serious hobbyists who enjoy the simple yet powerful workflow in Vegas. Let's take a closer look. We all have different tastes and preferences on how we want our interface to look. If you'd like to change the interface background or change the color of your icons and clips, go to Options, Preferences, and click on Display. Below Interface Type, you'll see 4 different shades or backgrounds that we can choose from: dark, medium, light, and white. I prefer the dark background. I think it's a little bit easier on the eyes for long editing sessions, but if you prefer, you can check out some of the lighter versions. We also can change the color of our clips, envelopes, snapping color, and even icon color strength. At 100%, we'll see a really bright, saturated color for our icons, and if we take it all the way down to 0, it'll be more of a black and white or muted gray tone. In version 15, we've added hamburger menus. You'll see in a few different locations on the screen under the preview window. At the track level, and each clip has hamburger menus. This allows us to edit the available tools. So let's take a look at adding some things to the preview menu or preview window. If I choose Edit Visible Button Set, I can check off certain things that I'd like to add. Let's add a record button. And why don't we head over to the track, Edit Visible Button Set here. I prefer to have kind of a cleaner look on the track, but let's go ahead and add a few things like track effects, compositing mode. So you can see we've added a few buttons. So this allows you to customize the interface for your particular workflow. So if you're working on 2 monitors, as many of you do, sometimes you want to have certain things off to the second monitor while maybe your main timeline is on the other. So in the latest version of Vegas, we can now easily customize the window by joining certain windows together. For example, I have the mixing console and loudness meters. Let's try to put these together in just one floating window. So what I'm going to do is hold Control and just kind of piece them together here, which gives us a really convenient floating window that we can move between our main monitor or our second monitor to quickly look at levels and our loudness meters so we can get our mix sounding great. With the new advanced save file options in Vegas, we can set the timing and duration of when we save. So go to Tools, Advanced Save, and choose Use Advanced Backup. This allows us to choose the backup interval in minutes, hours. This also allows us to archive daily backups. We can save it to various different locations on our computer. So very, very handy, and you'll have the peace of mind that your session is backed up. Okay, let's talk about color. Vegas Pro supports the latest color standards, including ACES 1.0 and High Dynamic Range Color, or HDR. So what is ACES? The Academy Color Encoding System, or ACES, solves numerous integration challenges by enabling consistent, high-quality color management from production to distribution. Vegas Pro fully supports all the criteria for this new standard and allows Vegas users to take advantage of modern color science and expanded color spaces of modern video cameras. High Dynamic Range, or HDR, displays a greater difference in light intensity from white to black, and wide color gamut provides a greater range of colors, over 1 billion possible colors. HDR boosts a display's contrast ratio, which is the difference between the brightest and the darkest. Long story short, we have more vibrant colors and deeper blacks. With the new storyboarding feature, you can quickly create rough cuts and alternate sequences. Edits that you make in the storyboard are reflected in the main timeline. So what I'm going to do is take some clips from my Explorer and drop them into my main timeline storyboard. And as you can see, those clips are now reflected in the main timeline here. So let's say we have a bunch of footage to get through. I can look at my storyboard and I can then make my in and out points. I'm just simply clicking and dragging, and all those edits are reflected down in the main timeline. I can then edit and move things together as I see fit. You can even right-click on the timeline and choose Close Gaps, which will bring everything together. Up next, I'd like to show you the new Bezier masking tool. We'll actually motion track the masked object as well. Let's add some text to a masked object. Okay, so I have two video tracks. Notice that they're the same, but one will actually be masking and we'll be pinning some text to the mask. We have the other track below so we can see what's the information on the screen that's unmasked. So under Video Effects, I'm going to go to the Bezier masking tool and drag that right on top of this clip. Okay? And as you can see in the preview window, we now have our mask. I have it set to, let's open up mask 1, set to rectangle. So what I need to do now is position the mask, and what I'm going to do is have the mask on this step here. And as you can see in the background, the artist here is actually, she's walking down the stairs, and what I wanted to do is essentially I'll put in some text, and as she moves through the shot, the text will follow the step and then kind of move out of the screen. So what I need to do is first position the mask appropriately here. So I'm going to bring this down. And if I kind of hold in the section within the rectangle, and when I get the hand, then I can kind of reposition right in the preview window. It takes a little bit of moving around to get it just right. So I think we're good there. Okay, so now what we want to do is to have set up motion tracking. Okay, so in the mask window, I'm going to select tracking and then choose start. And it's working in the background here, and it's tracking the mask throughout the shot. So we'll just take a few seconds. It's about a 10-second clip. Now, if we mute the second video track and then hit play, we can follow the motion tracking here. As you can see, the rectangle essentially kind of move through the shot. Our text will be living inside that rectangle. So now, let's add some text to the motion tracking. I'm going to go up to Tools, Scripting, Add Text to Motion Track. Text position, let's just choose OK. And we have placeholder text. Well, let's put something a little more interesting than placeholder. I'm going to click. And since this was filmed in Chicago, let's just type Chicago. And I'm going to change the color here. Try a different font. All right, take it back to the beginning and let's see how it tracks. So that's a pretty cool effect. We can get a little bit more in depth and creative with it. I could see maybe having as she's walking down the steps, line it up where she's stepping over the word, if you follow me there. I think that would be a cool effect to add. Let's take a look at the new LUT and Auto Looks plugins. These tools are a great way to quickly get a particular look for your video. Without getting too deeply into color science, applying a LUT filter will allow you to achieve consistency with your camera's color space or simply give it a more interesting creative look. Okay, so I'm in the video effects list here. I'm going to choose LUT filter and drag it on top of my clip. The next thing to do is to browse for a LUT. I'm going to choose browse. And in my documents section, I already had this up here, but I'm going to choose a teal and orange LUT. And as you can see, it applies a really cool look. I think this looks great because we shot this in the golden hour, as they say. So it was the sun was going down, and I think this looks really great for our shot here. Now back on the effects window, we can actually balance out the strength of the LUT effect to get it just right. Okay, the new Auto Looks plugin has some great presets that are set up. And if you read through the names, you can see that they are designed after certain films. And why don't we choose Conception here? I wonder where they got that name from. So I'm getting kind of a washed out look here. And again, just like with the LUT filter, I can dial the strength back. And I can even choose between different looks here. A little bit more contrast with that one. Ooh. So various different colors will start to pop in your scene with the different Auto Looks presets. Vegas is always shipped with powerful audio tools, including unlimited multi-track recording and editing with sample rate support up to 192K. 5.1 surround mixing, a plethora of practical and creative audio effects, and built-in loudness meters to make sure that your audio meets loudness standards for whichever platform your video ends up on. Okay, so let's talk about working with an external audio editor. In this example, we'll take a look at Spectre Layers by Magix. I'm going to go up to Options, Preferences, and choose Audio. Right here we can choose our preferred audio editor. So if you choose Browse, you can go through your program files to choose whatever audio editor you'd like to use. In this case, we're using Spectre Layers. I've already made that choice, so I'm just going to choose Cancel. Now, let's say I want to work with this audio clip within Spectre Layers. What I do is right-click right on the clip and choose Open Copy in Audio Editor. So I'm sure you're all used to seeing this particular view, which is your typical waveform. From left to right, we have time, and from top to bottom, we have amplitude. Okay, anytime you see a spike here, that's a sound that's going to be louder or softer. This is all kind of background noise right here. But in the spectral domain, I'm able to see so much more. I'm able to visualize the audio. And if I'll just go ahead and play this, we have a lot of background, people talking, the waves crashing. Upper right-hand corner, if I choose my brightness curve, it actually reveals much more. So I should probably make one clarification. Amplitude, if we see something that is louder or higher amplitude, it's going to be brighter. So as you can see where people are talking over here, we have, it's brighter, and the stuff that's kind of the background is more, in the background it's not as bright. But by choosing the brightness curve, we can actually kind of reveal things that are in the background if we wanted to get rid of that. So you can see if I zoom in a little bit, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that we could choose to get rid of if we wanted to. So what I want to do here is make a selection. I'm actually not going to entirely get rid of some of this background. What if I just want to bring it down a little bit? So I've made a selection. I'm going to cut this selection and choose Shift-Control-V and paste it to a new layer. Now, this allows me to mix different elements within the file here. I'm just going to bring it down. And as you can see, it gets a little more dim. It's not as bright. That means it's lower in the mix. Okay. Now I could go ahead and choose some other elements as well. Let's have a listen. let's say we wanted to work with some of the background dialogue that's going on there. Now, I'm going to use a different tool here. I'm going to use the brush tool to make a selection. Let me choose the right layer, and I can make my selection by painting, which opens up a lot of different possibilities for how we select our audio. We can be very, very precise with that. In fact, if I hold the Shift key, I can select multiple pieces of audio. Okay. I'm going to do a similar process. I'm going to cut and paste to a new layer. And then this allows me to bring that audio down in the mix a little bit. So spectral layers is a great tool to allow you to do very precise audio editing. Now, let's say I want to bring this audio that I've edited back into Vegas. All I need to do is X out of the tab in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to choose to update this file. So choose yes. I'm not going to save this, not going to worry about that right now. And as I go back into Vegas, the audio has been updated. So it directly updates the audio right into this file. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to your OneSource Video account executive or check out onesourcevideo.com. And be sure to check out vegascreativesoftware.com. Thanks.